What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here. Delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. You can head to the link in my description below, sign up, and get a free graphic novel from me. Pretty good. And then you never miss a video, which YouTube is notorious about not showing people videos. So definitely want to get on the newsletter there and have some fun with us. One of the things I pride myself on the channel is covering books that other people really don't cover. You don't get a lot of, older content that's reviewed by people, but you also don't get stuff like this very often. Now, I found this, The Unauthorized Tarzan, on InStock Trades. Actually was doing a search for Charlton comics, as I've been really enjoying a lot of their work. I loved the Steve Ditko stuff I read, of course. I loved the Phantom stuff I read, and I'm like, cool, what else were they putting out? Can we find something here? And I came across this. Now, the story behind this is that Charlton Comics believed that that Tarzan fell into the public domain, and it did not. But they thought it did. So they commissioned a comic for Tarzan to try to bring it back to its roots. Now, at the time, I believe Gold Key Comics might have been publishing Tarzan. I'm not exactly sure on that. On the timing here, but they really had pushed Tarzan into like a different state where he really didn't match what people were reading in the novels. I think they were actually doing the Son of Tarzan a little bit more than they were actually trying to promote the actual character itself at this era. And so they wanted to bring it back to its roots, as it were. So Joe Gill, who's a wonderful workhorse writer, and Sam Glanzman, who also is a wonderful workhorse artist, very two underrated people in comics, were hired to do this book. And very fun stuff. This version came from Dark Horse in 2012. It's got a nice little dust jacket to it and a nice little image on the inside. I like getting hardcovers, so that makes me happy. And they did the 4 issues of this book, which were printed. And you get what you get here. I like the art quite a bit, and actually like Joe Gill typically for storytelling, but for some reason this one really fell into a trap of a lot of exposition through this stuff. And so it was a pretty nice read. I enjoyed it. You know, the fight for Baloo. A lot of it tied directly into the books, and were little scenes in the actual novels of Tarzan. If you've read those, that I remember this part of the book. That really were really close to the book. And each issue has 2 tales. They're usually about 8-10 pages long. You can see a lot of exposition again. And really enjoyable to start, but as you get into the second and third issue, you're noticing that Tarzan fights a lion, Tarzan fights a monkey, Tarzan fights the strange savage African tribe, and then just kind of cycles and repeats through every story here. Again, I enjoy the Sam Glanzman art quite a bit, so it was worth just turning the pages on this. Even if there's not a ton of development, not a ton of story to it, this was neat from the historical perspective, and the covers are really awesome. Really love these. So this one, he actually had a nightmare in the middle of a tree of what was happening. That's kind of how they framed this one. And then he woke up after his nightmare and realized everything was okay. Good stuff. So, now, there is a change when we get to issue 4, unfortunately. I guess Sam Glanzman was on a deserved vacation, as they say. So they got Bill Montes and Ernie Bosche, I don't know how to pronounce that, to do this. And while the art is a lot stiffer and a lot less dynamic all the way around in this fill-in issue, you just get like very boring panels. You just got a face, and a face, and a face. Not much going on. And you get a ton of dialogue. I don't know why the dialogue got worse. I think it's all Joe Gill as it is. But definitely slowed down a lot in this last issue. And this is just some awkward looking panels here. Almost amateurish looking stuff in their fill-in artist. And at this point, the book was canceled. So that's the end of that. So vacation lasted a long time. Now you get you get an intro from the head of Charlton Comics at the time, and I believe this is also an outro by a couple different people here. So you get some nice historical stuff about Tarzan in here. Apparently they also commissioned a Tarzan strip at the same time. I don't know what happened to that, but that saw the same fate as the actual comic book as well. So get some art samples at the end. And the story behind actually how they found this and realized it was a thing to be able to publish this actual book, pretty neat by itself. So recommended for the history. I enjoyed the first three. The writings on the stiff side and the exposition-y side. The last issue was a little rough with the fill-in artist, but good stuff. This is the Unauthorized Tarzan from Dark Horse, and I'll call this like an 8 out of 10. Definitely worth reading for Tarzan aficionados out there, and just people interested in old school comics also. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.